recognize Grant Bosse for the purpose of offering a nomination.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Why do we have the First in the Nation primary? I mean, we get to sell a lot of pizza and hotel rooms and rental cars to Fox News and CNN, and that's great. We get to sit at the center of New Hampshire and watch the political world go by, and that's great. And the Washington Post calls us and asks us who we're endorsing, and that's fantastic. But these parochial reasons aren't why we have and deserve to keep the First in the Nation primary. Nobody in this country makes a better case for New Hampshire keeping the First in the Nation primary than Steve DuPrey. Yeah. That's why I rise to nomination for National Committeeman. We need him. The fate of the 2016 primary will be decided in the hotels of Tampa this summer. And we must send Steve DuPrey back to be our voice on the Republican National Committee. We cannot afford to lose his experience. We cannot hope to replicate his credibility in those rooms. We know that Steve will work to raise money to fund the candidates that we need this fall because he has. We know that he will be scrupulously neutral in Republican primaries because he has, and we know he will work his tail off to elect the entire slate of Republican candidates in November because he has. Please join me in sending Steve DuPrey to a well-deserved full term as our Republican National Committee. Thank you.
I now recognize Gene Chandler for the purposes of a second.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will do this very quickly because I know everyone's in a hurry. I could not be prouder than to stand here and second the nomination for Steve DuPrey for National Committeeman. I've known the DuPrey family from up in the almost North Country, Coast County, where we come from, for over 50 years. I have the scars on my knee that his father gave me some 40 years ago, Dr. DuPrey. They're well entrenched in the state of New Hampshire and the community, and as the previous speaker said, no one has done more for the Republican Party in our First in the Nation primary than Steve DuPrey, and I'm proud to second his nomination.
See another speaker. Do you have a nomination also, ma'am?
Yes, I do. Okay, Chairman, Mary Bonser from Nottingham.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to nominate a true New Hampshire Republican as RNC Committeeman. In doing so, I want to thank Steve DuPrey for his past work as Committeeman. However, if the Republican Party is going to survive, we need to make some changes in leadership, and it has to start in New Hampshire. Over the past 20 years, I have watched the steady decline in the relevance of the Republican Party nationwide. It is political insanity to elect the same people over and over again and expect different results. When we at the grassroots level try to recruit new party members, people say why? And that's a big question. Why become a Republican? Over the past few years, the National Republican Party has failed to stand for any of the solidly American conservative values that once made this party great. This is not the Republican Party of Reagan, and it's not the New Hampshire Republican Party. People in New Hampshire want a party they can believe in, a party that believes in solid conservative American values and will stand up for those values. Last fall, New Hampshire started a conservative revolution that is still reverberating across this country. To keep this momentum going, we need leaders in this party that believe in the core principles of the Republican Party and can convey those values. Someone who is not afraid to say what we proudly believe as Republicans. We need leaders who are on top of events and can read the political winds and guide us to victory in every contest. Thankfully, we have such a person in New Hampshire. Someone who has proven that he understands the politics of today and can convey that knowledge plainly and powerfully while maintaining our First in the Nation primary status. Therefore, it is my distinct honor and privilege to nominate Skip Murphy as RNC Committeeman. Thank you.
Diane Bitter seconds the nomination. Okay, in the order of any other nominations for National Committeeman? Okay, nominations have been moved to be closed. Is there a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. In the order of nomination, I recognize Steve DuPrey for remarks.
Republicans, we've been here a long time and want to go home, so I'll be mercifully brief. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve this party since I was 19 years old in 1972. And throughout my service, whether as area vice chairman, member of the state legislature, finance chairman, finance or campaign chairman to over 12 major candidates for governor, senator, or Congress, finance chairman and party chairman for the party, and now National Committeeman, I have been proud of being a Republican every single day, and I am proud of the fact that we are right on the issue. I am a native. I don't mean one or two generations. I am a long-term native who chooses to be here because live free or die means something to me. I support our platform, and I support every single Republican nominee once they make it through their primary. If I have differences with you, it makes no difference, because if you're our nominee, I want to win. I would rather have a Republican I agree with 70 or 80% of the time, just like President Reagan said, than have any Democrat. I am proud of my record of fundraising. I'm particularly proud of my record of working to save our primary and our relationship with the national chairman. I think we do a great job. Phyllis and I have been a great team. I look forward to working with whoever is the new committeewoman if I'm fortunate enough to be elected, and I thank you for your consideration and support. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. And I'd like to ask Skip Murphy now to come and speak.
Good afternoon, and I hope to be just as brief. And I want to say thanks to Mary and to Diane, very good conservative grassroots activists, for their honoring me for this nomination. I had a different speech written, but on the way in, coming up from Guilford, I saw the sun glinting off the majestic Mount Washington snow-capped peak, and I looked at the still, silent waters of Winnipesaukee, and all I could think of is such iconic representations of our state model. Live free or die. A lot of people outside of this grand state have no idea what we really mean. Live free or die. Unfortunately, there are those that wish to change that. Live so-so and be regulated. Oh, wait a minute, who put this Democrat script here? Or live free at somebody else's expense. We are at that tipping point, folks, that if we do not stand up for New Hampshire common sense ideals, conservative ideals, we may lose them. Because make no mistake, the Democrats, the socialists, the Occupy Wall Streeters, and many others are out to change, fundamentally change, as Obama said, who needs to be a one-term president. Change America forever. We cannot allow that to happen. Almost 30 years ago, I moved to New Hampshire, and I realized I hadn't just moved, I had come home because of Live Free and Die. To me, it became not just a state motto that I would see once in a while. It became imbued in me, and I know that it is imbued in all of you, because you stand for those kinds of ideals. In 2005, 2006, it became clear that the Republicans had lost their way, not only here in New Hampshire, but across the nation. And at that point, I became activated. So I don't have the long-term experience that Steve does. And I do thank him for his service. But a new wave swept through the conservative, grassroots environment. I'm a member of that, I'm part of it, and I've helped it to grow. And I have fought the fight for why New Hampshire should continue the first in the nation primary over and over again in the many years I've been here. Because every time I talk to somebody, where are you from? Trying to pick up my accent. New Hampshire. Oh, you guys are the ones with that funny state motto. I smile, and I know I have a chance to share with them why this state is so important. They tell me we are too small, too homogenous, or my normal challenge. And to journalists, you're too cold. Well, to the latter I say, flare up, buttercup. It gets cold here, but we stand it. We're hard to stop. But to the others, I tell them we are small, but we have liberals that are as equivalent as those in New York and San Francisco, and we have conservatives as well that will match up well with any individual mind in the nation. And we we have libertarians and moderates as well. And we need to work for those. But as Meredith pointed out, I am from the conservative wing of this party, and I am proudly here to say that I will continue that. For those of you who know me, who have seen me in all the grassroots environments, you know that I try to unite all of those liberty and freedom groups, and I can do so at a higher level now. I have fought the fight here in New Hampshire over the last few years. In 2010, showed the results of what I did, as well as many, many others did, in the overwhelming supermajorities in the House and in the Senate. Now it's time to move up to the next level. So folks, in order to be brief, I will stop there, and I simply ask for your vote for Republican National Committeeman from New Hampshire.
National Committeewoman Juliana Bergeron received 175 votes. Pam Tucker received 170 votes. Two incredibly hard-working candidates. Juliana Bergeron is the new National Committeewoman. In the race for National Committeeman, Steve DuPrey received 276 votes. Skip Murphy received 68 votes. Steve DuPrey has been returned as National
Committeeman. Crop TV.